Video Games Recon.
Hello and welcome. My name is Nate from Video Games Recon, and in this video and series we're going to be discussing my first impressions of all the weapons from Advanced Warfare, category by category, and at a later date, once I've grown more accustomed and if I have the time, I may go into greater detail and review each weapon individually. Okay, first off, each weapon will be in its base form in terms of minimal attachments for as fair a comparison as possible, and in terms of variants, as each weapon has up to 10 variations that can be acquired via supply drops. And obviously I don't have all those, probably hundreds of weapons available to compare. Also, as an FYI, most if not all the footage will be recorded in a local lobby against bots, as I haven't as of yet unlocked all the normal variants of weapons. Also, this is my day 1 or day 2 impressions of the weapons available, so that opinion over time is subject to change. And if your opinions differ from mine, no need to go mental and have a hissy fit. Instead, please feel free to have a rational conversation about it with me or other people in the comments. Anywho, I think that's everything covered, so without any further ado, let's do it to it. Okay, as per usual, I'm going to show you my classes so as to show the weapons in as fair a comparison as possible. So basically I've put no attachments on because I can't put the quick draw attachment on, which is what I put on with the assault rifles, because, which one is it? This one, I think? Yes, this one is only akimbo, so you can't turn it back to normal. You can't fire it like in a normal sense where you can ADS. So obviously it'd be unfair to put quick draw in because it would no longer be a fair comparison. However, However, for the rest, I've put a bunch of perks on basically just so as to like speed things up and what have you, but none of them should affect the gun's, you know, capabilities or create a fair comparison. So it's basically, so I've got fast hands there. I've got, what's this one called, hardwired, which basically just stops them doing that bloody system hack thing. I hate that thing. Scavenger, so I can keep up picking up ammo, so you know I don't run out of ammo. Peripherals, lightweight. Put a shield up just so you know if I have any problems with the SMG, because SMGs can be a bit of an issue at range. You can just pop the shield up, and stun grenades. So yeah, this is just for as fair a comparison as possible. Okay, so let's get on with it. Let's get into the game. Okay, so the first submachine gun we're going to be checking out is the KF5. It's fully automatic, has the longest range in class, and the first 5 rounds deal increased damage. So, who am I? Oh, can't see whether he's friendly or not then. Wasting my bullets. Right. Find some fools and not get killed. Yeah, so this gun, its iron sights are a little distracting, and it kind of reminds me of the MP5 quite a lot. Its range is the thing, is its selling point, because compared to a lot of other SMGs, it's really left. You know, they can be really left wanting at range, whereas this thing, you know, it can pick them out quite well. It can pick them out as good as some assault rifles, pretty much. It feels a little bit, I don't know, the recoil and the kick sort of sets it off a bit, but the recoil is manageable. So I'd say the biggest downer for this is definitely the iron sights, because they're quite distracting. The clip size is pretty good and the damage is pretty decent. So all in all, it's quite good. And it, like I said, it feels very much like an MP5. I think personally, if I was going to rock this, I'd need to have a red dot sight or something on it, because the iron sights, although they don't look too big, they're quite distracting. Just drop shot a ball. Oh shit. That's a clusterfuck waiting to happen, isn't it? Oh. Yeah, the bad thing about those tapping the square on those secondary grenades, those flashbangs, is that yeah, you accidentally reload sometimes, which can be quite annoying. I suppose you can always cancel it. But yeah, anyway, so that's the KF5. Now we're on to the MP11, which is a little bit like an MP7, but maybe a bit shorter. It's got the highest mobility in its class, and its rate of fire is pretty beastly. Its range feels like it's lacking a little. The damage is decent, but that's mainly due to its rate of fire, I'd say. Its clip capacity, I think it's okay. We'll get in it a little bit and see how it spits out its ammo. It's quite a tidy little thing. If I had overkill on, I'd definitely put this on as a secondary. I think that's the sort of vibe I'd be going with. I don't know if you'd want to rely on it on maps aside from small maps. But on small lots like this, it's quite a beast. I mean, it's not terrible at range. Yeah, as you can see, the accuracy there is a bit. It kind of shoots it about a bit. So I mean, it's got the range, but it's like, you're gonna hit anything from that. Oh, I got the wrong gunner. You're gonna hit anything from the range. That's the thing. So yeah, definitely a great little weapon to have as a secondary, and really good for tight maps. But yeah, anything with a significant amount of range on, you'll probably be left wanting. The iron sights are pretty decent, so. Oh shit. No need for a red dot or anything. There you go. Jesus Christ. Anyway, that gives us a good opportunity to move on to the next gun. This gun is the ASM1. It has the highest damage of all submachine guns, and firing increases over time, but damage gets lowered, I think. No, what is it? Firing over time increases. Oh yeah, increases accuracy and lowers fire rate. So it'll get more accurate the longer you hold down the trigger. But as you can see there, the fire rate slows down. So this basically is like a future Thompson to me. It looks like a Thompson. It kind of handles like a Thompson. But I have to say, this gun for me hasn't really blown me away. I mean, the Thompson's a little beast, but this thing, I'm not so sure about. Oh, they're underneath me. Ow. Did he fall off the edge? You numpty. Ah, fucking hell. Where am I getting shot from? Alright, so good job, you are terrible. However, you, sir, are not. Yeah. Yeah, so this gun, I don't know, it sort of feels a little bit weak. It's decent at range, it's got decent, it's supposed to have the most damage, but I don't know, I suppose it is kind of beastly and it can pick them out of range, but I just feel there's a lot better submachine guns to go with. I mean, I don't think I'd pick this one personally. So it holds onto its ammo pretty well. It's okay at range. It's got good damage. But yeah, I'm, to be honest, underwhelmed with something which appears very much like a Thompson. So next, we'll go on to this gun. I'll tell you about it in a minute when we're safe. Which is probably never. So. Right, this is the SN6. It has the best accuracy in its class, and the first 3 rounds. Hang on, let me read this. The first 3 rounds of a burst fire faster. Okay. Sorry, I was just looking at my notes then. Yeah, that doesn't really make sense because it's not burst fire, it's fully automatic, so I don't quite understand that. But I think what he means is the first 3 bullets, basically whenever you fire faster than the rest, obviously so you can get more damage on your target. But this for me is probably my favourite weapon that I've been playing with on, well, submachine gun anyway. Because it's got really, I think it's got the best accuracy. I said, didn't I? Yes, best accuracy for submachine guns, and you really can pick out targets at good range. Oh shit! It's got pretty good damage.
Enemy UAV
Ooh.
above.
Oh, that was so close.
Our UAV is online.
Yeah, it's got good damage, decent damage. I mean, technically, it's got the weakest damage possible, but I think this is meant specifically for taking out targets at greater range. I mean, its rate of fire is okay. For a submachine gun, it's probably a little bit weak, but in comparison to other weapons, I mean, it's probably got average damage, due mainly to its rate of fire. What are these things? There's some sort of tracking drone, I think, or something. Yeah, but yeah, it's this thing. You basically can take out the targets just as well as a lot of assault rifles. It's got that sort of range, and although the damage, you know, does take away from it, I don't think it's as significant an amount as you know, you need to worry about, really. I think it's a good payoff, so I'd probably say that's, you know, it's definitely one of my favourites. It holds on to its clips pretty well and stuff, so that's not an issue. And the iron sights are quite nice. It's already got a little hollow V thing on it, so that's pretty sick. What? Right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the next is the SAC3. It has the highest fire rate, and it is akimbo. Let's just kill myself so we can get it. Yeah, and it's only akimbo, which is a downside and an upside. If you're going to run a overkill, I'd say it's probably an upside because you get a free akimbo perk pretty much added onto it. If you're not going to run it as a overkill, as a secondary, then you might be a problem because obviously you can't ADS, so picking out a range is going to be a significant issue. So I don't think you will really want it unless you're just doing it for shits and giggles as your main weapon, because you're gonna die as much as anything. You're definitely not gonna be doing any big kill streaks. That said, close range, it is a beast. So if you're just trying to mess with fools, plus you can fire each weapon independently, so you don't have to worry about reloading. And even though it's hard to get enemies at range because you can't ADS, you still can. It still technically can get them. It raises up quite a bit, so it's more down to your skill level. But you know, in most situations, you're going to be in big trouble. Like, this is a small map, you know, so it's pretty decent in a lot of situations here. If you're on one of the bigger maps, though, I just don't see how you could run this as a legitimate primary. But that said, it is good. It holds on to its ammo really well because you've got 2 guns. Yeah, its damage is great for close range, but you know, like I said, you're just gonna struggle. There's no way there's not even an attachment where you can turn it so you can go ADS. So, yeah. Right, let's move on to the next gun. The next gun is the AMR9. It fires 5-round bursts. So what this gun reminds me of the most is a Chicom. It's got really good handling, and apparently you can put under barrel attachments on it, whatever that means. So presumably you can put on like a shotgun or a grenade launcher or something. You can get one-shot kills with this if you get, well, obviously you can if you get headshots, but I think you can if you get center mass as well. I don't know how often you're going to be getting them, but it's a definite 2-hit burst kill. As long as you get center mass, of course. If you keep getting in the arm, you might not. But yes, so this one, although its accuracy isn't. What was he doing? Like crouching or something? That's weird. Although its accuracy isn't per se the best, nor its range, because of the way it fires, because you're firing like a couple at a time, it's quite difficult for the recoil to build up so as to such a point where your shots become inaccurate. So with that, it actually, the numbers sort of lie a bit, because it can actually be quite accurate. Yeah, but at those sorts of ranges, I don't think any SMG is going to work out at that range. But it's pretty decent. The only downside is, you know, it doesn't fire too quick. The rates of fire between each burst isn't that fast, which is a little bit of a downside. Plus, it fires 5 shots at a time, which just spews through your ammo. If you look, you've got 35, so what's that? 7 shots you've got basically. So if you are just spraying through them, you've got issues, which is what you use SMGs for. I mean, real talk, you use them for like, you know, spamming people, throwing loads of bullets at them. That's its main role. So, you know, you often can be left with issues. So, extended mags is probably a must with this weapon. I don't know. I didn't check whether you can add. What was it? So you can change it so it can be fully automatic. I didn't check that. That should have been something I looked at. I'll put an annotation on screen as to whether you can. Because I'd imagine that would dramatically change the weapon. It's probably not going to make it like amazing, even if you can. I'd imagine the recoil would be too much. But all in all, it's a good weapon. It's a decent weapon. It's definitely not a bad weapon. You see there, I was getting quite low on shots there, which is not what you want with an SMG. So, but yeah, that's all of the SMGs covered. So I would say my favourite SMG is probably the, where is it? The SN6. Oh, I should have put it on. That was silly. I'll go jump off the edge and put it on. Yeah, because even though it feels a little bit weak from time to time, because of its fire rate, it sort of just covers that issue. And just being able to pick them off at range, I always feel like I'm like my range is left wanting with SMGs, and it really hurts me. But with this, you don't have to worry about that. I'd say this is as good as some, if not at least half of the assault rifles range. So yeah, so I'd have to say my best weapon, my favourite weapon at the moment from my first impressions, is the, what's this called? The SAC, isn't it? SN6, is it? SN6. Let me check. Pressing the wrong buttons. Where are you? Yeah, SN6 is my favourite.